Welcome back to our episode. Ryan here with Chaos MMA, and today we have on Chris Duncan, who fights on Dana White's Contender Series in August. Chris, man, how are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks. How's yourself?
I'm doing great. Great day. And for you, how was your day? You're in Vegas, it looks like right now, right?
Yeah. We came to the Apex to do a pre-shoot for obviously the Contender Series in August. Get it all done, and so I can concentrate on my training camp.
And how has that shoot been going? How has that been so far?
Yeah, it's good. It was just some silly stuff, media talking about the fight, talking about past fights and stuff like that. So yeah, it was good to get it done and out the road, and then to concentrate on the fight itself now.
Yeah, fight's coming soon, about month out, basically, maybe month and a half.
Yeah.
And first off, though, when did you get the call for this fight? What month did you get that call?
Oh, I'm not sure. Maybe about. It was not long after my last fight.
Okay.
Obviously, since the last time I was on the Contender Series, because of what happened last time, Sean Shelby and Dana wanted me back. So they said as soon as I get a win, I can come back, and they want me back on the show. So as soon as I got that win, they were pretty much like trying to organise me to get an opponent. So we've got one now, and just waiting for the event to happen now.
Yeah, you're back though. You're back on the show now. And what's going through your mind now that you have that experience of being on already? Like, how do you think it's going to be this time around and everything else?
Yeah, it's just that everything feels.
Yeah,
I don't want to say the kind of novelty's worn off. Like I feel like this is just another day.
yeah,
The nerves are not here anymore. Like last time I was over when I was in the PI, I was super excited and stuff like that. This time around, it just feels like another day in the office.
yeah. And like you said, the nerves and everything else. I mean, you already experienced this fight week basically for the Contender Series, the walkout and everything else. So, like, do you feel like when the fight comes around this time, you're just gonna kind of like be used to it, and it's gonna be like a second fight, kind of?
Yeah, for sure. It's just going to be another fight, and that's the way my mindset's geared up towards just now. Because obviously, the last time, there was a lot of messing around, but this time I'm going to rectify all that and just make sure I get my contract this time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this fight. And you got a tough opponent in front of you in Charlie Campbell. So based on everything you've seen from Charlie and everything else, what do you expect him to do in this fight? Like, how do you expect him to come out and everything else?
I expect him to come out aggressive as normal. Same with me. We're both aggressive fighters. We both want to push the pace. He's got a decent calf kick. He's got a good overhand right. I feel he does a lot of things similar every fight. So I'm just looking to exploit every area of his game and show him who the boss is.
Yeah, speaking of exploiting every part of his game and everything else, do you feel this fight could hit the ground, or you feel like this fight's going to mostly stay standing? Like, how do you see this fight hitting the ground at all, or not really?
I don't know, man. Like it's one of those things. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, you go in with this amazing plan, and then
yeah.
it fucking shit, doesn't it? So I'm happy to go to the ground, test them out on the ground, see how it goes. If takedown's there, I'll take it. If it's not, I'll not. Um, I've learned over time now not to over fantasize about parts of the fight. Just focus on the fight itself and try and adapt and overcome whatever's happening within the fight.
And you spoke about the calf kicks and everything else from him. Is that something you train, like just defending the calf kicks, like checking it and everything else? Or is that just kind of like he's going to come out with that, figure it out in the octagon? Like, how do you prepare for that?
But obviously, you want to drill it and switch on, and
Yeah.
it's like if you're training for a grappler, you're obviously going to focus slightly more on grappling. So, I think my reactions and my timing will be able to counter. Like the guys he's fought in the past have not been as sharp as I have. Has not been as weathered. They've not had the same opponents as I've had. So I'm a lot sharper, and a lot fitter, and a lot faster than most of the guys that he's fought. So I'm not saying he has a padded record. He's fought some decent guys, but he's not fought anybody of my caliber yet. And same with me. I think this is my toughest opponent yet for sure. I fought guys with better records, but to date, this guy's a young up and coming fighter. So like it's just one of those things. And a lot of people say, "Oh, what's he like?" And then I'll send the video over to him. He's tough. But the thing is, like, everybody at this level and everybody in the UFC is tough. Like, they wouldn't have got there otherwise. So you can't be a one-trick pony when you're in the UFC. So I'm going to exploit all my weapons and show them what MMA really is.
Yeah. Looking for that fight. It's going to be a great fight based on how you're speaking and everything else. And speaking of the walkout and everything else, we talked about emotions before because you already went through this. You're walking out for the second fight. What do you feel like you're going to be thinking? Is just going to be like, I'm going out there second time. I'm getting this contract. There's no ifs or buts or anything. I'm going out there getting this contract. Like, what's going to be going through your mind on the second walkout?
I'm just going to go out there and win. Last time I focused too much about trying to please the crowd and make sure I get the contract, but this time I'm going to win. And whether it means I need to grind them out, whether it means I need to knock them out, I'm not going to grind them out. It's just not the way I fight, is it? So it's just not going to happen. But I've trained all areas of my game in an American top team this time around. I've got the great coaches and I've got the great training partners around me. So I'm just looking forward to showcasing my skills and turning up to the event and coming home with my contract and telling my girlfriend and my daughter that I fight for the UFC.
I'm sure it's going to be an amazing moment for you. And that was like my next question. I was like, what is that going to mean to you when you get that contract? Going back home to your wife and daughter saying, I'm in the UFC now. Like, how cool is that going to be, man?
It'd be pretty cool. Like bragging rights to all my friends.
Yeah. And speaking of the fans, you said last fight you wanted to put on a show for the fans and everything else. Is that something you're just going to kind of like put to aside now and just worry about the fight and just try to block that out a little bit, or you're still going to be with that?
The fights I've had in the past, I've never focused on that.
Yeah.
Before. So they've tend to have been some of my greatest performances. But the last time I tried to go and please the crowd, I ended up obviously coming away with a loss. So this time around, I'm just going to go into like it's another fight. And the way I fight, and I don't know if you've seen me fight, but the way I fight, I tend to bring the action and that'll get me my contract because that's the way I train is hard and I go for the finish all the time.
Yeah, you're going for the finish in August. Gonna tune in, guys. Gonna be a great fight. And last few things here. Thanks again for your time, man. You said you were training at ATT. I saw on your Instagram you were training at ATT, one of the best gyms in the world. Great coaches, great fighters. So, who have you been training with mostly for the camp from at ATT? Like, what fighters were you been with mostly?
There's not been any like set people that I've trained with, but day to day, obviously everybody jumps in and out of the training sessions.
Yeah.
I've done some grappling rounds with Dustin. I've done some grappling rounds with Jorge Masvidal. Okay. I've done some rounds with some Bellator guys. Sydney Outlaw, he's fighting for the World Championship for the 5-pound belt. I've been training with the best of the best, so you're only going to get the best of the best from myself come fight night.
Yeah, and you said UFC fighters like Jorge Masvidal and Dustin Poirier. Like, have they said anything to you about like what to expect and everything? Like, have they gave you any advice for like this fight? Because they're in the UFC, they know what it's about and everything.
Not particularly. No, they just said to me, we'll hit up next week. Obviously, I'm away this week. They're like, we'll hit up next week and we'll get some training and we go over some game plan and we can work together and figure it out. So these guys are on board to try and help me, and I can't thank American Top Team enough for making me feel welcome and putting me at the forefront. Because I'm just fighting in the Contender series. I'm not in the UFC or I'm not in Bellator just now. So these guys treat everybody the same, and they treat from the guys from the very bottom of the pile to the very top of the pile the same. So I'm very grateful for that, and I'm looking forward to showcasing my performance.
Yeah, well, that's why it's one of the best gyms. They caring for you. It seems like, and everything else. You got Mike Brown. I saw you were with one of the best coaches in MMA. And last thing here, thanks again for your time. Besides MMA, what do you like to do in your free time? I just met you. What do you like to do in your free time and everything else?
Listen, mate, I do absolutely nothing but think about this sport.
Yeah.
I enjoy spending time with my daughter and my girlfriend, which I haven't been able to do recently because of what's going on with obviously training camp and stuff. So after I get this fight, I'm maybe going to take my girlfriend and my daughter on holiday for a couple of days and spend some time together. And that's probably my newfound hobby, is being a family man. So happy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be so fun to go out with your girlfriend and daughter on a vacation after this fight and everything else. And you said speaking about this sport though, I wanted to ask you real quick. I mean, is that gonna help though, kind of in the long run? Because you're always thinking about it, you're working hard's paying off. It always pays off usually. So is that kind of gonna help you in the long run, you feel like?
Yeah, I think you need to be obsessed with the sport to be good at it. So, um, like having this like kind of mindset towards not having a break from MMA and stuff has got me in the position I'm at just now. So, yeah, I do feel that's a positive weapon in my arsenal.
Yeah. Well, looking forward to the fight, guys. Tune in August for the Dana White's Contender Series. Chris Duncan's going to be a great fight. And for you, thanks again. If you want to thank any sponsors, shout out any social media, man. The floor is yours.
Yeah, just give me a follow if you see me. Hit me up. I'm pretty engaged pretty well on my Instagram and my Twitter and stuff like that. So just follow me. I'm the Problem 155 or just Chris Duncan on Facebook or whatever. And obviously, thanks to all my sponsors. It wouldn't be possible without these guys. So I'm really grateful and thanks for your time as well and getting in contact and trying to push the fights as well. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. It was great speaking. Nice meeting you. And yeah, good luck for his fight. Can't wait.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, man. Have a good one. Cheers.